When Dr. Daniel Mercer stepped out his black sedan that morning, the cameras were already waiting. They called him the Miracle Man, the surgeon who saved hundreds of lives, the man who built a charity, Mercy for Tomorrow, to help the sick and the poor. But that morning, he wasn't walking into a hospital. He was walking into a courtroom, and the crowd wasn't cheering. They were watching a hero fall. Dr. Mercer was once everything the city admired. Handsome, brilliant, untouchable. But behind the polished interviews and charity galas, there were rumors, money that went missing, staff too afraid to speak, and one nurse who asked too many questions. Her name was Julia Benton. She was 28, quiet, meticulous, and brave enough to confront him. The last message she ever sent said only, "If anything happens to me, it's him." 3 days later, her car was found near Lake Harrow. Keys in the ignition. Phone dead. No signs of a struggle. It was as if she had simply vanished. For 11 months, the case went cold, until a hiker found a shallow grave deep in the woods, less than 5 miles from Daniel Mercer's private cabin. The body was Julia's, and buried with her was a secret Mercer had tried to erase. Inside the cabin, investigators found Julia's smartwatch, still active, still tracking. The data placed Mercer near that same stretch of forest on night she disappeared. Then came the computer. Deleted spreadsheets showing missing charity funds, private messages between Mercer and Julia, and one chilling line that stood out. "You talk, you ruin everything." When questioned, Mercer insisted they were friends, maybe lovers, but his wife told police another story. Julia wasn't just his assistant, she said. She was his secret. By 2025, the trial had become a national obsession. Millions watched the live streams. Half the country wanted blood. The other half saw a witch hunt, a brilliant man destroyed by public opinion. And then the recording surfaced. A hidden file, recovered from Mercer's encrypted phone. His voice, calm, controlled, terrifyingly certain. "If she talks, I'll make sure no one ever find her." The jury heard it once, then again, and that was all it took. After 16 hours of deliberation, the verdict was read. Guilty on all counts. Life in prison without parole. But as the sentence was handed down, Daniel Mercer leaned forward and whispered something the microphones barely caught. "You'll never know the truth. He's still in prison." His followers online still insist he was framed, that the evidence was planted, that Julia Benton uncovered something far bigger than money, and that Mercer was silenced before he could speak. The case is over, but the questions aren't, because the deeper you dig into Daniel Mercer's story, the less certain you become of who the villain really was. This is the Dark Diaries, and this is how a miracle worker became a monster, or maybe how a monster became a myth.